Joseph Sikora, right? Or Sikora.
You can also say Sikora. I mean, that's the Polish pronunciation. But I get stuck. I get the business from my father, who's just like, "What are you doing? You're an American. What are you?" That's my grandmother pronounced it Sikora, and I love that. It's actually a Polish translation of the word titmouse, which is a small bird, kind of like a little dark bird. But and so that was my people. They were serfs in Chicago, and I always would say to my dad, were our people poor in Poland when they came over? He said the poor people didn't make it to the boat.
Right.
We were poor, but they weren't that poor.
You can pass almost as Latino as well, like
solamente blanco en afuera.
Míralo.
Hey.
Can you say this?
Like a Canelo vibe.
I
don't make Canelo in the movie.
I would take that.
Hey.
By the way, Power is the show on Stars Sundays. Right. When we said you were here, everyone was like, "Yo, Tommy's here." Like
people are freaking out.
People just,
I'm blowing my cover as we speak, right? They're like, "Oh, this nice guy just showed up." Forget it.
No, but people, refuse to like see you. You're Tommy to them. You know?
And you got to wear that as a bit of a badge of honor, saying like, "Hey, they are affected people's lives. Yep. I'm proud of that."
That's
and
so good
and
as
then
an actor,
I take it as a challenge. Like my roles, my work will prove itself.
My man.
50 Cent said this between seasons 1 and season 2. He said, "Man, what you just did." I said, "What's that?" He said, "You made a dent. You made a dent in the culture." And I said, "What does that mean?" He goes, "That means when you're winning your Academy Award, people are going to be like, the one where Tommy played the doctor."
That's it.
And you're invited to the barbecues. You feel me?
Hey, man, I've been invited to the barbecue.
Really?
But I think that's a very special thing, man, especially as an actor.
Yeah.
I think that's, you're right, that's a badge of honor, man. That is so cool because not every actor gets to experience that. And I think it could be scary for some, right? Because I think the word is typecast or whatever, but
for sure,
that's not in your future, I think.
I think that I'll have to prove myself more and more, and I feel like I've pre-proved myself from other roles and stuff. But Tommy being my biggest role, I take it as a challenge. Let's see. I'll show you. But now that I'm at a man of a certain age, after this long period in the career. I know that I can do all of this stuff. I think a lot of people say, "No, I got range. I can do this range." I'm like, I don't ever have to say it. I'll just do it.
You're just gonna do it. Yeah. Do you fear getting older? I do.
I mean, yeah, sure, a little bit.
Right? I'm like,
what do you fear about getting older? Like
my hair. I'm glad my hair still grows.
Good for you.
But
Primo, show him. Show him.
It doesn't look bad. I like it.
You're lying to me
I
now.
swear.
We're almost there, and it's a little lighter here, and I haven't shaved it in a while. Fuck you.
We going viral, Primo. It's a good moment. You know what I'm saying?
Respect your hair, man. Take care of it, brother.
And I take the hair vitamins.
It looks really good too, man.
Yeah, you got healthy hair, bro.
I'm getting a little thin right on the top here.
Nah, that means you're a man and it's happening.
Your hair losing weight.
I know, right?
You're so healthy, your hair's losing weight. Jesus, you got the answers.
But as an actor, right, vanity is something. I mean, I know we're not conceited here. You seem like a down-to-earth guy, but vanity is very important.
Yeah, it's harder to get back in shape. It's harder when you put it on to get back down. I'm at that thing where I consider I'm a little fluffy. But it's it's not bad. I always try to say
you think you're fluffy? Then what are we?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Put the camera to me.
Hey, Joseph.
If he's fluffy, what am I?
You calling yourself fluffy? Get your ass out of here, dog. Get out.
Seriously.
Let me see.
Fluffy.
He's not fluffy.
Fucking buff ass fool. You're fluffy.
I'm in the valley, so
this character Tommy on Power, Joseph, this is a character that you embody. This is a character that people truly believe and invest in. They're invested in this character, right? And I think that's what 50 was saying. You made a dent in the culture. You have men and women both watching this show, and your episode airs. Well, your soul episode airs next, right?
It's very possible that it does. I will say this. I can say that you will see a lot more Tommy in next week's episode.
Okay. Why? How so?
Because the story has to show how this day went for all of these different characters.
Yes.
And it's very obvious that they have only a certain amount of characters that are going to show up. So we've already gone through Rotimi Akanosho's character of Dre.
Yep.
We've gone through Elizabeth Rodriguez's character of Paz, who did a brilliant performance. I think some of the audience was thrown because they're like, "Oh, Paz isn't a main character and this and that." But don't forget Courtney A. Kemp, who's a brilliant storyteller, our show's creator and showrunner, along with Gary Lennon, said that this is going to be a psychological. This is going to be a psychological exploration of these characters.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe the murders are going to happen. specifically one at least, and who knows if it's a murder yet,
Yep.
but at least one shot is going to happen, one violent crime is going to happen. Everything is revolved around that. So we're going to see a Rashomon style of the movie, meaning we're going to see it from different people's perspective. So one of the things that I think people are going to do when the 5 are over is go back and watch them again to see what was the exact same, what was slightly different, what was totally different, because a lot of it takes place from perspective.
Right. If when Carmelo shows up to set, is it awkward?
No, but Carmelo, man, I love Carmelo.
Good guy.
I started out a fan. Great guy.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony is a great guy. And I think with Lala, what people see is that
she's so beautiful and talented,
she is
man.
so beautiful and so talented and a lovely human being.
Yep.
And
a good mother. Great mother, man.
People are like, oh, what's up with Lala? I think it's called a fringe benefit.
Right.
But I think that the
Lucky
reason
guy.
that the stuff seems so natural and true with Lala and I is that you have to set up something that seems safe.
Of course.
We're both married. But once they call action, that marriage has got to fly out the motherfucking window.
Sure, and it's art, right?
Yeah, but also exactly as much as when you do that, when they call action, when they call cut, it's time to go back.
Yeah.
Back to reality.
And your experience, you're an actor. You do such a good job, but. It's like a sport. You do have to practice.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So is there moments where you have to practice with Lala, and how do you get away with that? Teach me.
I practice with the A team, my wife, and then I bring it to work. So
attaboy, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Great answer, by the way.
Committed to the character. You feel me?
My wife.
Yeah.
My wife is Russian. She might just cut it off while I'm sleeping. So I just gotta be careful.
And then she said, "That's tu daña."
Yeah, exactly.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hey, when French and 50 are going at it, right? And French kind of ruined the ending of an episode.
Yeah.
What are you guys saying to each other?
Well,
What's the conversation?
Well, you know what? I'm going to choose my words very wisely because I respect my boss, 50 Cent, who's the best boss I've ever had in the entertainment industry by far. And I've been in this industry for 30 years because he's respectful. Yep. He really is. And there's a certain persona that he has at times that is truly 50 Cent. Sure. But he's a multiplicity of character. He's also a marketing genius. However, I will say that French
clap. Good interview too, man. We love 50.
French clapped back pretty hard, and I was just like, I'm just glad it didn't keep going, because Fifth is inexhaustible. I mean, you see that in his work ethic. Yeah. He's not gonna stop.
True.
So that's
what I love about him.
Yeah. Oh no, I love one of his quotes of saying that I want to be so successful that I go up so far that everybody around me is successful.
Yeah. That's what it's about, right?
It is. It should be. It should be. Yeah, it is for me.
Yeah.
It is not for everybody, as you guys know, but it is for me. But I'm one of the good guys, and I damn sure ain't gonna finish last.
My man, I like that. Are you in support of the Golden Globes, the Oscars?
I'm not an awards guy, but I never have been for whatever reason. I'm not saying there's a good or bad.
You not like attention? Because that's what it is, right? It's a lot of attention.
I think it's primarily is the attention, and I think that just because I've been in the industry for so long with very little notoriety, I would say I've had my successes, and I've had plenty of success in the theater, the theater world in Chicago and Los Angeles and New York, and I'm grateful for being a storyteller. But I feel like I'm blessed that that my heart is true, that I'm in it to tell stories and try to affect people, try to transcend, try to learn about human beings. It's not that crazy. I'm not saying that I'm curing cancer, but I'm doing things and trying to present characters in a way that somebody's going to be like, yo, that's me. And I can see myself in that and give them the opportunity and ability to change. So when I walk away from the job and it's done, I don't need the accolade.
My man. Yeah, cool. Because you know what you put into it.
And I think Ricky Gervais got the raw end of that deal when people are like, oh, you shouldn't have said. He should have said everything he said. The only difference is you should have listened.
He was so on point.
I totally agree.
He was so on point. And, a lot of that stuff people need to hear, I believe. Just kind of burst the bubble a little bit.
Well, even if not maybe, yes, but maybe not even burst it. Just bring it down a little bit. It's fun to feel important, but these are so self-congratulatory, and there's always more and more award shows, and it's the last thing we need.
Yep. Hey, Joseph, have you ever gone for a gig, didn't get it, and someone else got it, and you thought, that could have changed my life? Or I should have did that. Or said, I don't feel like doing it, and then it became a monster hit.
I've never said no.
Good man. Good man.
But I'd say from at least from 13 to 30, I've had many gigs where I was just like, yo, I could have done that, and I could have been. Why didn't they get that? They got. But I can fall through the cracks. But so I try to like say, oh no, well, I'm just like an undiscovered Robert De Niro. I'm just like an undiscovered Gary Oldman or. Or
a gem in the
or
way.
Or it's gonna take me a little longer to have the notoriety of like a genius actor like Michael Shannon,
wow,
or somebody like that, or I just haven't had my Denzel moment yet. But I am about this story, and I think that's why I love working with writers and people who have a vision.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should go for the Denzel moment right now. I'm gonna give you
a character. Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a character. We're gonna call this character Fu. Okay? Fu.
Oh, brother.
I'm gonna give you phrases to say and just get into character. Okay? Number 1, I don't live to live.
I don't live to live.
Look at it closely.
Look at it closely.
Parasite.
Parasite.
It's my fault, huh?
Oh, it's my fault, huh?
And that's that.
I understand what you're doing now. It took me a minute, though.
Do it one more time.
No, we're all good. No.
It's about being in the moment.
Yeah, the moment is gone.
What's this spinoff talk we're talking about here, man?
Well, they just made the big announcement about Method Man joining the cast. It was Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what other cast members from this show.
Come on, Joseph, you've never lied to me, and I know
that
what
is true. So I can't start now. But I will say there are other cast members, but maybe not who you would expect.
Whoa.
And I will say this, that we still have 3 episodes left, and you have to survive those 3 episodes to make it to a spinoff. So I can't guarantee
those 3 episodes.
And I got to say, I don't look a whole lot like Tommy right now. But, you never know.
Yeah. You lived out here in LA for a while?
Yeah, I had what happened?
Did you grow up around Hispanics?
I did. I did grow up with predominantly Mexicans, but some Puerto Ricans.
That's right.
And it's funny, the first Dominican I ever met was a guy named, man, if you're listening, that'd be amazing because he possibly is, Fred Sepulveda, Fat Fred from the South Bronx. And
Fat Fred, what up?
Yeah, Fat Fred, man. Fat Fred THC crew. And when he came to Chicago, it was 1990.
Yeah.
And I just thought Fred, Fred was black. He's Afro Dominican. Afro-Latino. And then when I heard him speak Spanish, I said, what the hell?
Pásame la juca,
yeah. Like
they talk super fast.
Sounded like a gravelly bird chirping, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
But then Dominican, there were very few Dominicans in Chicago, but I met a lot of. I grew up around predominantly Mexicans, and then met a ton of Puerto Ricans when I was boxing, and I've always been a fan of Latin culture. I was just always. We said I learned Spanish, like the minimal amount of Spanish that I know, or how to conjugate a verb at like my friend's house when his mother was like, okay, Joey, like this is this, you're eating right now. Okay, comer, coma, like going down and like the conjugation of the verb. So it was like, I just always wish that I spoke fluent Spanish, but I guess it's never too late.
It's never too late, man. And I think if correct me if I'm wrong here, but you study people, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I can see it. Yeah, you could play a Latino character, bro.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, man. I don't think it'll be too much of a challenge.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Can you order in Spanish when you go to a taco stand? If so, can you do so right now?
Please, in a moment.
Yeah. Deme dos de asada.
Sí, con la crema y guacamole.
What do you drink?
Una soda, ¿no?
Yeah, cerveza.
Coca-Cola.
Horchata. Oh God, I love horchata.
Come on,
when people don't know horchata, they're like and si primo cousin. Like when people are like, see, call me his cousin. Everybody's Latin that listens to the show though too.
You feel me?
But it's when I was just in Mexico, it was my wife. It was just like when I came down, like I was saying, like she's just like, what did you just say? And I was just like, I don't even remember. Like I thought I knew how to say it in Spanish, so I just said it, and they understood.
Right, they get it.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful language, and specifically Mexican Spanish obviously has a special place for me.
Get the way.
There's the special words you wanted to get.
Yeah, cálmate.
That's right.
Cálmate, güey. De cincho se le va a robar la tapa, güey.
Hey, that kid who was in a McDonald's commercial.
With Michael Jordan, yeah.
What would you say
It
to
is
him
Michael
today,
Jordan.
man?
I say, don't stress so hard.
Oh,
don't take life so seriously. Don't be so angry.
Oh wow.
Spread love. You don't need to prove yourself so much.
Did you have a chip on your shoulder growing up?
I don't know about a chip on the shoulder. My cousin always used to call it the urban curse: blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yep.
And so I started boxing because I was tired of getting my ass kicked, my ass handed to me so much, and just
as much
like
as you want.
and like and okay, good. And then so that was always a weird thing because I don't think I was necessarily violent. So I did take anger management. I talked about this with Big Boy, that I did go to therapy, mainly because my girlfriend, my wife now, said for us to be together, you got to stop this nonsense. You know, you're a 30-something-year-old man. You can't be getting in fist fights. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And it's just to find out.
She's right.
It's totally true. There's other options. That was an option at the time when you lived in the neighborhood and you operated by different stuff. This is not something that should be on your docket of how to solve a problem anymore.
Yeah, I know. I think my wife wouldn't mind if I went to anger management. And I don't like, there's times where I think about it and then I'm thinking like, what for, but that is medicine, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It helps me learn where my anger came from, and so much of my anger was so fear-based.
Yeah.
It's fear-based.
Mine
same.
was, and there's a bunch of different stuff. It's like, what are you saying to me? Oh, I'm gonna show you this. I'm not who you think I am. You know that.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
Maybe a fist is the answer to this. I'm gonna show it to you.
Yeah.
Well, however, the best times in my life was when I was boxing and doing amateur boxing in Chicago and all around in Michigan and in Iowa, and then I had a fight out here, two fights out here, and it was great because it's a calming thing of like, all right, I'm capable. I don't need this. The confidence of like, I can walk away and people could say pussy. And you're just like, no,
nope.
Don't touch my lady and don't start this and there won't be this. So I think that's important. And I definitely can take and it was a great training tool for me now. Not that many people want to step. Most people want to just be like, Tommy, that's my guy. Hey, what's up?
Of course.
Anybody who would have that, it's like, I have too much to lose and you're not worth it.
Sure. And some fans could be overzealous.
Absolutely. Some can, but very few. I get a lot of love. I think because I give a lot of love. And also Tommy's kind of the people's champ.
Yeah, absolutely. We root for
100%.
him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And last year in October, you were a Halloween costume, bro.
I saw that. And so many
crazy.
but how many little kids were Tommy? Like so many, like, I'm gonna dress my kid up like, this vengeful murderer.
It's so
Drug dealer. Isn't he adorable?
How does that make you feel?
But that's the hood way.
Damn.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Homemade.
Hey man, listen, in the 80s there were so many Tony Montanas.
Thank you.
I can't remember that.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
so.
you've made it when you're a costume.
Yeah,
Halloween.
yeah,
You're a
yeah.
Halloween
Facts.
costume.
You've
You're
made it,
doing your
bro.
thing, man.
Or like you're shaving your little kid's head up like that and giving them the Tommy
But I
haircut and
saw
everything.
kids do it. I saw men do it. I saw women doing it.
Oh, I saw women do it too.
Yeah, I think TT Torres from Hot 97. I was just like, that took a long time.
And also, I was kind of like, she looked kind of hot. Is that because? Oh boy, do I have
Are
a
you
problem?
attracted
Is
to
there?
yourself?
Am I finally
You're
attracted to myself?
conceited.
Yeah, exactly. You're conceited.
Do I finally find myself somewhat attractive?
Yeah, finally.
Well, listen, man, congratulations,
Yes.
man.
Thank you so much.
We're here for you, man. We're rooting for you
Primo.
and Tommy. You feel me?
Yo,
But
thank
seriously,
you.
Joseph, man, whatever you need from us, man, we would love to help in any way, man. You're doing your thing. Whenever you're in LA, come see us, man.
I'll tell you what, when the spring rolls around, can we do this again and
Yes,
see how
sir.
the spinoffs are going?
Please,
And we
bro.
can also talk about those of us who may not have made it to them.
Yes,
And we
yes.
can talk about those who have.
And then we'll have horchata here for 84.
Oh man, I'll take an horchata. And also, we grew up in Chicago with such great Mexican food
Oh,
that
yeah,
I was
yeah.
so
Oh,
spoiled. Los Angeles and Chicago. How does everybody
Hella
else get it
Mexicans
wrong?
out there, bro. Yeah.
It's this third largest in the world: Mexico City, Los Angeles, Chicago.
We got to be on in Chicago. I'm telling you.
You
dog.
got to be on in Chicago.
Yes, I would
You got to
love
get
that.
there.
Man, you got the plug?
No, but I'm gonna work on
My
it.
man,
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. Are you a Ye fan? Are you a Kanye fan?
I am a Kanye fan, and in
know.
fact, I still take him with a grain of salt. But I'm just like some of the stuff I still get hyped, and we won't talk about other Chicago artists who may have fallen off too. But like sometimes my wife is just like, you got to throw that music out, and I'm like, but it's so good.
I know a rapper. This is my shit.
This
Are
is
you
my
into like
shit.
drill music?
So every now and again, sure.
Yeah, gang, man.
Yeah. All love.
Sunday Night Stars, power. Let's go, man. Joseph, salute, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Been
God
great.
bless.
Real 92.3.
Let's go.